talking point is this, and this talking point right here, it may break some hearts, but I want to really get clear on this because there's people that watch this channel and they only watch me when I talk about certain fighters. So some people may only watch me when I talk about Canelo. Some people may only watch me when I talk about Inoue. You know, some people may only watch me when I talk about Terrence Crawford. You know, and the ones that only watch me when I talk about Canelo, they still think this is 2021. They still think I'm on a crusade for Demetrius Andre, trying to get him the Canelo fight, and then I still hate Canelo. And really and truthfully, I haven't been a Canelo hater for like 2 years. I haven't disliked Canelo for 2 years. And quite honestly, if I could be honest for a second, you know, when you cover a fighter, when you actually go to their fights and you cover them up close, it gives you a different impression on them, right? And so in dealing with Canelo Alvarez and the little minimal interactions I got this week, I can honestly say this about him. Canelo Alvarez, in my almost 10 years covering boxing, he is one of the most professional fighters I've ever been around. And when I say professional, what I mean is, you know, you get some of these guys in boxing that they reach a certain level and they feel they're too good to do certain things. They're above certain things. They're above, you know, answering extra questions from the media. They're above uh, fulfilling their media obligations. They're above, you know, just being a hospitable person. And Canelo Alvarez, I can definitely say he went above and beyond to do what he needed to get done this week in the ring and outside the ring. And honestly, just seeing him up close and how he goes about his business, it's really not it's really an eye opener as to why he is where he's at. So I give him his respect. Also, too, like, you know, obviously, I think I'll be honest here. Like when he got absolutely, you know, outclassed and you know, we always say here on True School Sport, we say exposed by Dimitri Bivol. Um, that obviously helped too because it really humbled the Canelo fans and really brought people back to reality as to how good he is. He's a fantastic fighter, but he's not, you know, going to go to cruiserweight, and people were talking about him fighting Usyk, so that kind of helps too. But yeah, just I would say seeing him how he goes about his business, him losing to Bivol 2 years ago, and then really and truthfully like watching other fighters in boxing how they go about their business. Like look at Terrence Crawford, right? And mind you, I'm a huge Terrence Crawford fan. Terrence Crawford has been one of my favorite fighters in boxing for the better part of now 10 years. I've been a Terrence Crawford fan since 2014, longer than most of you guys even know who he is, right? When I used to write articles about Terrence, when I used to write articles before I even had a YouTube channel, there's an article that I wrote like 9 years ago about Terrence Crawford being pound number one, right? So I've always thought highly of Terrence, but seeing how Terrence has moved since the Earl Spence fight has really disheartened me and turned me off about Terrence. And honestly, it may come as a surprise to many people, but if them two fight, if Terrence and Canelo fight, I'm probably gonna root for Canelo because I really don't like how Terrence has moved since the damn Errol Spence fight. He don't want to fight. He don't want to fight Tim Tszyu. He don't want to fight Virgil. He don't want to fight Jerron Ennis. He don't want to fight nobody that's in and around his way. He just wants the big cash out fight. And I understand it, but you know, it's really kind of turned me off of him. So yeah, how he goes about his business. Other fighters in boxing, I mean, like you get certain guys like I don't want to put nobody down, but like just watching certain guys who get all this hype, all this praise, and they just they're not as professional as Canelo. Canelo's a professional, and that's what I respect about him. You know, obviously he got his flaws. Like you can nitpick any fighter's career, which I've done. I mean, I've done 40-minute videos nitpicking Canelo Alvarez's career 4 years ago. You know, he won his first title against Matthew Hatton and cherry picked him. You know, but you can do that for anybody. Every fighter has gray areas and things in their career. So yeah, to be honest, like the reality is this, and this is just being unbiased. This is my second time going to a Canelo Alvarez fight. The first one was the Saunders fight in Texas 3 years ago. The reality is this: when you talk about boxing as a mainstream sport, you know, visibility wise, there's not really many fighters moving the needle outside of the hardcore boxing community. And the hardcore boxing community is minuscule in comparison to the general sports fan population. So the guys that are really sticking their flags in the ground and moving the needle outside of hardcore boxing fans is Canelo, is Anthony Joshua, is Gervonta Davis, is Naya Inoue. And you guys can add whoever you want, but like those are the ones that are really making sure that this sport is continuing to thrive. And so for that, I gotta respect him and think about it. Um, this event now, I'm not talking about the fight itself, but the event, Canelo versus Berlanga, as a commercial success, they were up against it. They had the UFC literally right down the street at the Sphere, which in my opinion is the best venue in Las Vegas. I love the Sphere, and not only was the event a massive success, but the event definitely outdid the UFC. They sold over 20,000 tickets, sold it out to capacity. It was a lively crowd. And you can only do that. You can only be able to outdraw the UFC on a big fight night like that if you yourself are a box office superstar, and Canelo Alvarez is that. So look, man, I spent a lot of time on this channel over the years downing the guy because I wanted him to fight a certain guy, Demetrius Andrade, who, by the way, Andrade, unfortunately, he moved a certain way in his career and made some really unintelligent decisions, and that's why he's at where he's at now, and had to take a fight that was unfavorable to him against Benavidez, and he didn't fulfill his potential. But I want to make this very clear, and I'm going to clip this. I'm going to clip this little segment. I'm not a Canelo hater anymore. So anybody who comes here saying I'm a Canelo hater or tries to think it's 2021, I'm just going to say I don't hate the guy anymore. And honestly, too, like I said, man, the only thing I will say is, now if you start saying like he's better than Salvador Sanchez, then he's the best Mexican fighter ever. That's where I'm gonna stop you, and I'm gonna be like, yo, Canelo Alvarez is not. He's great, but he ain't that great. Let's pump the brakes. Let's not do that. You start saying he's better than certain guys from Mexico, then I'm gonna have a problem. But other than that, he's okay with me, and I will leave it at that. So yeah, let's get to some comments, man. We got people in the building. 3070. Make sure you smash that like button. We got our